Minister.
Mr. Speaker, with your permission, I will answer questions 3 and 4 together. This government is committed to protecting people from these practices. We are carefully considering the responses to the public consultation on banning conversion practices, which closed this year. We will set out next steps and the government's response in due course.
Well, Mr. Speaker, that's a deeply disappointing answer, because every day that the Secretary of State delays this bill, LGBT individuals can be subject to this abhorrent and deeply damaging conversion therapy. And it's now 8 months since the consultation closed and 4 years since the government first promised a ban. So I beg the Secretary of State to bring forward a bill as soon as possible. Now, can she also reassure us that the government's proposed legislation will bring in a comprehensive ban on all forms of conversion therapy and include the protection of trans people?
I thank the Honourable Lady for her question. This is a very serious issue, and one of the reasons why it is taking so long is because we are being very considered. Many of the things that people asked for when we first started talking about conversion therapy practices have widened, are different from what we are looking at now. So it's widened in scope. But more importantly, what I would like to reassure LGBT people on is that these are issues that we can tackle with existing law. So we are being very careful in terms of our considerations of what will be coming into the bill, and the answer which she is requesting will follow on from the consultation, and that will come in due course.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. A lot of words and no action, because in 2018 a promise was made that conversion practices would be banned. 4 years and 4 Prime Ministers later, and this disastrous Tory government are going backwards, with some on their benches actively fanning the flames of hatred and bigotry towards trans people. So can I ask when this Tory government are going to follow the lead of our SNP government in Scotland and take action to ban conversion practices and stop putting trans people's lives at risk?
Mr. Speaker, the Honourable Lady from the SNP is of course talking absolute nonsense. We on this side of the House, are legislators. What we are going to do is bring a robust bill into law, not one that is going to be helpful for her to send her tweets. This is about looking after vulnerable people, not about social media campaigning.
Peter Gibson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does my right honourable friend understand the anxiety by the LGBT community when it comes to this ban? This ban has appeared in multiple Queen's speeches, and yet we are still to see any draft legislation.
Secretary.
My honourable friend asks a very good question. I do understand the anxiety, and one of the things that I'm trying to do is take a lot of the heat out of the debate. Questions like that, which seek to inflame anxiety and make people worried about what we're doing, are not helpful. What I can tell him is that this is something that I am committed to doing. He is right that we have raised it multiple times and have promised multiple times, but the reason why it is taking so long is because this is not as simple as members opposite would like it to be. This is a very, very complex area, and when we do it, we're going to do it right and permanently.
James Gray.
Mr. Speaker, my constituent Paula Wren is proud to be trans and proud to be a Conservative, and she would call straightforwardly for an end to this absurd practice of conversion therapy. It's completely unnecessary for trans people, and the sooner the government can bring in this bill, the better it'll be.
I agree with my honourable friend.
We now come to SNP spokesperson Kirsty Oswald.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Last year, the former Prime Minister, that's the most recent former Prime Minister, described conversion therapy as an abhorrent practice in the ministerial foreword to their consultation on banning conversion therapy. Now, 11% of trans people in the UK report having been subjected to this so-called therapy by their own families. And those individuals who are subjected to this practice are significantly more likely to have attempted suicide than their peers. So I'm disappointed in what I've heard today, which seems like more kicking into the long grass. And does the Right Honourable Lady understand that conversion therapy is abhorrent? And if so, why won't her government commit to preventing this harm to trans people by banning this practice for everyone?
Mr. Speaker, I think it's quite clear that the Honourable Lady did not hear any of the answers I've given, because she's asked something which I have answered multiple times. So I would refer her to the answer I gave to all the members who've asked.
Liz Twist.